It's the year 610 CE, and the world for women is heartbreakingly dark. Women are being buried alive as infants, bought and sold like cattle. They cannot own property. They can't refuse marriage. They have zero voice in their own lives. Just picture that for a moment. Now, imagine a revolution, not a revolution with armies or swords, but a revolution with words. Words that declared something the world was absolutely not ready to hear. Women are equal souls before God. And what happened next didn't just shock Arabia. It sent shockwaves that would eventually reshape human history, slowly but deeply. Right, number one, the right to exist. In pre-Islamic Arabia, baby girls were buried alive. Fathers would literally take their newborn daughters to the desert because girls were considered shame. I want you to imagine a father holding his tiny baby, hearing her cry, and believing that ending her life was somehow honorable. And then came revelation. When the baby girl who was buried alive is asked for what crime she was killed, Islam didn't say, maybe this is wrong. No, it condemned it as murder. It declared that daughters are blessings, not burdens, not shame. Blessings. And that one shift saved countless little girls and changed the emotional structure of families for generations. Right. Number two, the right to own. Now listen, this part blows my mind every time. In the 7th century, while women around the world couldn't own property or inherit wealth, Islam announced that women could own property, earn money, keep their earnings, and even run businesses. Not only that, after marriage, her money stays hers. No husband can claim her wealth just because he's a man. And listen to this carefully. The Prophet Muhammad's first wife, Khadijah, was a powerful businesswoman. She employed him. She financed him. She supported the early mission of Islam with her wealth. That's not just progressive. That's revolutionary. 14 centuries ago, long before modern laws, long before women's rights movements, long before the world even imagined gender equality, right? Number three, the right to choose. Islam gave women the right to consent to marriage. The Prophet Muhammad said explicitly, a virgin must be asked for her permission. And when a woman came complaining that she was forced to marry someone she didn't choose, the Prophet annulled her marriage immediately. Think about those words. No means no, 1400 years ago. At a time when marriages were arranged like business deals, Islam said her voice matters, her choice matters, her consent is mandatory. Right. Number four, the right to learn. Seeking knowledge is obligatory upon every Muslim male and female. Education wasn't optional. It wasn't a luxury. It wasn't a privilege reserved for men. It was a religious obligation. And at a time when women in Europe were barred from classrooms, Muslim women were scholars, teachers, and narrators of religion. Aisha, the Prophet's wife, became one of the most important scholars in Islamic history, teaching men and women alike. Right. Number five, the right to spiritual equality. At the core of everything, Islam taught that men and women stand equal before God. Whoever does righteousness, male or female, we will surely cause them to live a good life. No hierarchy, no spiritual second-class status. A woman's prayer is equal. Her faith is equal. Her reward from God is equal. In a world where some religions literally debated whether women even had souls, Islam said, you are equal before your Creator. Now, take a breath here. 1400 years ago, when women were considered property, not people, Islam sparked a human rights revolution. The right to live, the right to own, the right to choose, the right to learn, the right to spiritual equality. And here's something many people don't want to think about. These laws weren't created by men. If men granted these rights, then men could take them away. But these rights were revealed by God, meaning they're timeless, permanent, non-negotiable, And yes, let's be honest. Today, some Muslim cultures don't reflect these teachings. Some societies oppress women, but that's culture failing religion, not religion failing women. And here's the emotional part. Even today, right now, 14 centuries later, the world is still fighting for some of these basic rights. Women are still fighting for the right to control their own wealth, the right to safety, the right to education, the right to bodily autonomy, which forces us to ask a very uncomfortable question. Have we actually moved forward? Or was Islam just far ahead of its time? And if it was, what else about this faith have we misunderstood? What else were we wrong about? What truths are waiting to be rediscovered? Maybe the real revolution has only just begun.